everyone. Uh, I'm sure you have watched my previous videos and went off to try Claude. There's a high chance that you hit the limit at some point of time and then you don't have an option but watch it getting reset. It's really frustrating as a user, especially when you are in mid of a task and you have to wait for a few hours. But there's what nobody tells you upfront. Hitting Claude limit is almost a self-inflicted problem. Uh, Not because you are using Claude too much, but because you are using it inefficiently. So in today's session, I'm going to talk about five fixes which you can use on a day-to-day basis, and this will help you in a way that you will never hit the limit. So I'm going to talk about the fix one, and this is the biggest mindset shift in the entire video. That's what most people do. They start with a vague idea and start prompting. Each prompt is a bit of exploration. They iterate, backtrack, and change direction. This is exactly how you burn through your token limits. If I have to do something uh, complex, things like build a workflow, build artifacts, analyze long documents, I spend few minutes writing about what I want and the output that I'm looking for. So the first thing that you should do before starting even the first prompt is plan what you are expecting or what output you are expecting. And I can just give you an example. So today exploring I was doing a little bit of exploration around building a tool uh, for job search. And before even I started with a single prompt. I just planned in terms of what I'm looking for, and I'm just going to show this to you. So this is a job application platform which I was looking to build, and this was primarily to build an autonomous job application platform wherein an agent uh, scouts all the available jobs or all the jobs which has been posted in last 7 days, uh, and the jobs which are active, and that's what I named them as scout agent. And then second of this is uh, like it tracks whether user has applied to that application or not, and I have called this as application tracker agent. So primarily application tracker agent reads the email and checks if the user has applied and then updates back the tracker. And third of this is interview prep agent. So the my goal here was interview prep agent should be able to go through users calendar and see if there are any invites which are related to interview, and then it helps user with preparation guidelines. So that's how I was thinking about this job platform. So before I went into prompting, I kind of laid out this diagram to make sure I understand what I'm looking for as an output. And once I give this information to Claude or any other agents, it will be able to understand this and then come up with output based on uh, this clean and clear diagrams. Now, to demonstrate this to you, I'm going to sign up with a new account, and yeah, we can just try it out. Let me quickly sign up with a new account. Okay, so I'm here at the Claude landing page. Now I'm going to get a screenshot of this documents, and I'll just feed this to Claude before prompting. So I am looking to build a platform for candidates, build an autonomous platform for candidates which does three tasks: primarily scout for jobs, uh, check if already applied, and help prepare for the job interview. Here's the agentic framework I'm thinking. Please help me how to build this step by step. Okay, now before I click on submit, I think one more thing which I want to highlight here is uh, you could see here in the drop down there are multiple models. Now how Haiku is fastest one, and if you are looking for quick answers, I think you should always select Haiku because this is a model which consumes least amount of token. Then comes Sonnet 4.6. I think it is the most efficient for almost everything that you do on day-to-day basis. And then comes Opus 4.7. So this is more intelligent model, and especially if you're working on more complex tasks, you should use Opus 4.7. But one thing to highlight here is, I mean, our strategy should be that if we are doing an initial brainstorming and all, Haiku itself is a good enough efficient model, and we should select the model based on the complexity of the problem and also the stage of the research. So if we are in early stage when we are just validating ideas, doing some initial exploration, it's best to start with Haiku and then switch to Sonnet. I think this way you will be able to save a lot on the token, and this will also make sure that you never hit that token limit. So yeah, let me select Haiku and then see what does this response. So yeah, it's thinking in a way, in a platform way. So there is job application platform where user can create a profile, set job preferences, syncs with Google Drive. There is an application tracker uh, which which has three sub agents: Scout agents, which connects with job APIs, LinkedIn, Indeed. App tracker agent, which primarily reads email and updates the tracker back, and then interview prep, which kind of looks at the calendar APIs and then uh, helps with, helps with the prep documents. Uh, and there is a data layer. Believe me, this has done an amazing job. And if you just want to go back and check how much token has been consumed, this is the least amount of token information coming up with the least amount of token consumption. So certainly you should try this out whenever you're working with Claude next time. Now talking about fix 2, the first thing that you should do is stop using one long chat, because when you keep using the same chat for same ongoing tasks, you're forcing Claude to reread everything that has come before. Every single time you send a new message, a chat that's like 200 line on average, Claude is actually going through 200 page documents to read before it can even answer you. So the fix is simple: short chat, one topic, one chat, and when you are done with the chunk of the work, start a new chat. So just to give you an example, let's say, for example, in this case, we started our conversation talking about an autonomous platform for candidate job management. Now let's take for example, we want to understand something else. Okay, so let's assume, how is the forecast weather forecast for Bangalore for next 1 week? Which nearby places I can travel? Now, okay, let me just switch the model. Okay, I think Haiku is good. Yeah. Now, if we are giving this task to uh, Claude, basically it has all the context. So even before it starts answering, it will go back. It will understand if there is any context related to this in this conversation or not, And then only after that it will start, it will get into action to see what is needed to answer your questions, right, or your queries. So basically we are going to consume double or triple the token which we would have consumed if we have used a new fresh chat. So my approach or strategy will always be that if we are switching between topics, always start a new chat and then kind of give one prompt at a time. Now, I think one of the concerns that you will be having is what about the context? I think there are different ways to handle it. One of the easiest ways to do it via project, which I'm going to talk about is the next fix. But another way to do it is you can just ask Claude that, hey, can you give me a prompt? Uh, yeah, can you give me a prompt which I can use in my next chat for context. So let's see what Claude comes with. Complex context prompt for the user journey. Okay. Okay, honestly speaking, I mean, at this point of time, uh, it's a bit tough to say whether it is going to consume the same amount of token or lesser amount of token. But yeah, given that this comes up with a predefined prompt, it will certainly consume the lesser amount of token. So if we are starting a chat which requires this context, we can just paste this as a prompt before we start the next chat. Yeah, next fix that I'm going to talk about is working in a project. So consider a project as a workspace which you can set, and it has all the context. So if I mean there, it's one of the way wherein uh, LLM or Claude gets the context, and then it actually consumes lesser amount of tokens. So I think yeah, what we can do is we can go ahead and create a new project. Uh, okay, let's do one thing. Uh, I'm going to give a Claude a screenshot of this one. So basically, you're working on something, and let's say if you're giving an instruction to Claude that hey, I'm marketing head at Acmecor. Our tone is friendly but professional. We target mid-market size, and our main competitor is blah blah. Now, every time you write like this, that means every single chat one, there is a lot of token that you are going to spend. So one way to address this is keep a one-page document with the role or the team context, tone preferences, and common task types, and basically that is used by Claude as a memory. So let me do one thing. I'll give this screenshot itself to Claude, and I'll ask to figure out the project structure uh, or the memory documents that is needed to set up the project. So I have already taken a screenshot. Help me with memory document for this. I think it's taking time loading this page. Okay, it has done. So while Claude does this, I'm going to create a project, and I'll name this project as marketing uh, emails. So this project or marketing outreach, this project will used for be used for marketing outreach. Uh, this should help us drafting the right email based on the target company profile. Okay, so I've created the project. Let's go back what it has created. So yeah, as you can see, the Claude has come up with a memory documents. Replace all bracketed sections with your actual information. So we'll just download it, and I can create one folder for this. Let me do it on desktop itself. We call it marketing outreach, and we call it my context. Yeah. So okay, we can just go ahead and update this role. Let's take, for example, we update it as marketing manager, marketing lead, current organizations, yeah, it may call growth marketing, engineering team, alpha, context and background. So basically, yeah, this will help Claude remember the context. And I think, yeah, we can also add few more things. And now when we work in a project, when we start with the chat, we have already created a project, so we can actually start with this project. It is already having the context, so please draft an email for client Facebook. Let's see what it comes with. New business proposal following on a, let's take for example, it's a new business proposal. I think ideally this tone and all we should be able to kind of set it up when we are setting up the project, and I'll just show you how to do that. Okay, so it has come up with this. I think, yeah, at this point of time it may seem difficult that whether it has used this context or not, but let's do one thing. Let's go into the project and go into here. I think here we can add instructions. So when drafting email, always have a friendly tone, right? Which means whenever it will draft the email, it will always draft that email in a friendly tone. So yeah, I mean, this is one way to kind of cut down on the token usage. So you work in a project and kind of have a memory file. So basically, once you have a memory file, Claude will make sure that it gets context from the memory file, and then every time you go ahead and like want a different way for Claude to answer, you just go ahead and update the memory file in the instructions. Okay, fourth fix that I'm going to talk about, I've already briefly touched about it previously. So yeah, one of this is the model stacking. So as I said that when you are brainstorming on something, it's never recommended to start with more intelligent model. So I mean, for most of the scenarios, Haiku does really good job. So if you have a really vague idea and you just want to kind of brainstorm and validate, start with Haiku, and once you get more clarity and once you have more concrete idea, then you go ahead and use higher tier or more intelligent models like Sonnet 4.6 or 4.0, 4.6 or Opus 4.7. Now, one more thing which I want to talk about here is Claude also helps you to select styles. So basically, if you want to reduce token uses, you can select concise as a style. So what will happen is every time it will come up with a response, it will come up with a response in a very concise way, so that it uses lesser number of tokens. Um, and when you want a detailed one, you can actually prompt Claude that, hey, give me a detailed or explanatory response. So that way, like this is one of the way when you can actually reduce your token consumption. Yeah, last of this is tool splitting. So basically, when it comes to Claude has different tooling capabilities. I think in free tier you won't see, but if you have a paid tier, you have an option of Claude Chat, Claude Cowork, and Claude Code. Now, and then pretty recently Claude has launched Claude Design as well, and especially, I mean, I don't use Claude Code much, but I use Claude Chat and Claude Coworks very often, and especially if I have to do anything which is design heavy, I make sure that I use Claude design, and I can show you one example. The reason being, Claude Code, Claude Chat, and Claude Cowork has a different memory space compared to Claude Design. So, I mean, if you are using any design heavy things with Claude Design, it is using a separate memory. So the token limit actually exceeds. It actually it's double of what you would expect. So just to show you an example, I was working on some designs, and basically, I mean, yeah, these are also Claude code generated. Sorry, Claude design generated. Okay, I think this is Claude design. Uh, Let me quickly show. Yeah. Okay, so one reason we see this notification is currently I'm logged in with a free tier, and that's the reason you don't see Cloud Design available for free tiers. Given that Cloud Design uses the highest tier model, which is Cloud Opus 4.7, it is only available for Pro, Max, and Teams or Enterprise. So I'll skip it for now, but uh, I mean, keep this as a trick that if you are using anything which is design heavy, always better to use Cloud Design, because that gives you an extra memory or extra token